And this is what they ignore. This is a great example of what they ignore. They ignore the rising police state. They ignore the prison statistics. They ignore the fact that the drug war is a fraud. They ignore the fact, well, they can't completely ignore it, but Fast and Furious is being ignored as much as it could be. But we have to keep making noise about it. And the connection between the CIA and the FBI having complicity in these operations. That's the truth. And that's what we're here for. We're here for the truth. We don't want to be told lies and then make our decisions based upon lies. That's what's been going on. That is why we are here where we are, on the brink of financial collapse, where our dollar is devalued every day, and quantitative easing 3 is coming, and Ben Bernanke's trying to make out like he's this hero, you know, constantly. These people create the problem and then offer the solution. Anybody out there that'd like to call in, have any things to add to what I've been talking about, or maybe you're confused, or don't believe what I'm speaking about, or have any opposition to what I'm saying, or think that, you know, I'm not telling the truth, I would love some opposition, because this is absolute truth. So please call in 772-905-3018 if you want to talk about any of these issues and your perspective on it. I would really like to hear it. It'd be great. Now you got to be warned that controlled opposition is out there, and that's actually who I'm calling out to. So please, if you're a controlled opposition and you're trying to manipulate the media opinion, give me a call. I really want to tackle that one. And I'm calling out to all the FBI agents out there that might be listening, or CIA, or anyone else. Come on. I dare you. I challenge you to have a real conversation where the First Amendment is not attacked. Now, getting back to the news, there's a lot of civil unrest, and a lot of the things that's going on is they know they want things that were taken away from them that we had. Do you know there was a time you can go to college for free? For free. But they figured out a way to put everybody into huge debts and make this diploma worthless, because most of the people that get it, 70% of the people who go to high school go to college. So that means that most people have degrees. Now, that's the whole problem. You see, that it doesn't really mean anything. I mean, unless you're in a specialized field, you're a doctor, a lawyer, something along those lines, an architect. But all these other degrees in botany and everything else, I don't know, you could think of a million of these classes. We all went to college, well, at least I did. I don't know. I can't say that I'm any better off for it, to be honest. Fortunately, my father, when he paid for college for me at Queens College, it was only like $800 a semester, and then the year that I graduated, what I paid for the whole, it went up for like $1,500 or $3,000 a year, and it was like, yeah, doubled or something like that. And now I think it's about 12 or 15, I don't know. So he was actually, it wasn't, you know, we got off easy. But did I learn? Yeah, I learned. But did it help me? Honestly, no. Did it open my mind to certain things? Yes. But it gave me a very warped perception of education. And again, we can talk about this, and I'm going to. I have quite a bit of information to go over in the the remaining hour and a half that we have here. And I think that certainly we could discuss the education system, the social control of the Soviet-style education system was well documented in the works of Charlotte Iserby in the Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. Charlotte Iserby was fired by President Reagan when she revealed the fact that she noticed that there were problems here, and this was Soviet style, and there was all sorts of implications as to what this could lead to. And that's why a lot of these opposing factors in the Occupy Wall Street movement are actually now really embracing what they were taught. So they want free this, they want free that, they want the government to do this, and they want to kill communists. They're communists. They want to kill capitalism. So it's like killing capitalism is not the bad guy. You see, again, it's like a boogeyman. It's like Osama bin Boogeyman, buried at sea, or or Anwar al-Awlaki, or any of these other puppets that they use to get across their opposition agendas. Now, when you're dealing with controlled opposition, you have the ability to infiltrate and give guidance through, you know, money. I mean, in New York, they were caught being paid to try to start trouble. That's on record in New York City. I don't know what else to say about that. It's just clearly coming to a head here with this movement that's been socially controlled through the education system. Now, aside from being absolutely poverty-stricken by some of the debts, and then the National Guard now wanting to recruit the people that are, you know, like, oh, I got a lot of debt. I'm gonna, oh my God, I'll join the National Guard, work, you know, whatever. 1 weekend a month, what is it? 2 weekends a month, and 1 week a year, or whatever their nonsense is, and then you serve. I would be really cautious about that, everybody out there, because the government already has taken away benefits from the soldiers, and look how they treat our own military. And now they set it up because they're so evil. The New World Order is that, you know, if you're against the military, you're against you're not a patriot. You know, we're not against the soldiers. We're not against the forces. In fact, the forces are our greatest ally. But the government doesn't treat the forces right. And they send the forces to war for corporate interests, for ExxonMobil and for Halliburton to make profits and sweetheart deals. And then we have homeland terrorism all of a sudden being so prevalent after 9/11. And people like Michael Chernoff, head of Homeland Security, ushering in these naked body scanners at great cost to the government. And then, of course, stepping down and becoming the CEO of Rapiscan, the company that builds the body scanners. And more being put out. And more techniques. So, instead of ranting, I'm actually going to go through some of this news here. So, as I was mentioning that they are trying to stop all these employment credit checks, because obviously people's credit are hurt, and of course their credit is hurt. And I digressed, I think, after that point. So that was only the first article. Sorry about that. But anyway, going ahead, of course, the underwear bomber who had called Kurt Haskell as his witness suddenly pleaded guilty and hates America and makes all these comments, and, you know, that's really suspect as well. So he decided to, it would be better to plead guilty, and even though he had no passport, and he was led on the plane by, clearly by the State Department representative who said, no problem, we do this all the time, it's okay not to worry about that. So he's going to be guilty. I'm sure they'll probably put him someplace in some gulag and you'll never see him again. Alright. The U.S. accuses Iranians of the alleged plot to kill Saudi envoy. That's interesting. This is actually an article from the New York Times with David Goodman, and it says that federal authorities foiled a plot by men linked to the Iranian government to kill the Saudi ambassador to the United States and bomb the embassy of Saudi Arabia in Washington. This is what our very, very, you know, we can absolutely believe everything that Attorney General Eric H. Holder says, and that's what he said in his news conference on Tuesday. That was very nice of him to include that, of course. So the men accused of plotting the attacks were Mansour Arbaziar and Gholam Shakuri. Perfect names to just terrorize and make every American think that they're this frightening boogeyman, new boogeyman. Remember, Ron Paul wasn't very wrong when he said that, you know, our influence in our imperialism in the Middle East and provoking all these attacks is probably partially to blame, if not all to blame.